Hi everyone, welcome to another academic video. This week we are talking about routes into academia, and in particular, can you move from an industry job into an academic position? If, if you're new, my name is Caroline. I'm a UK-based physics lecturer. So I research, teach and admin at a UK university. But that hasn't always been the case. I spent a lot of years before I became a UK lecturer working in industry. So when someone says to me, can I go from industry to academia? Yes, absolutely yes you can. However, there are some things to bear in mind if you want to keep that pathway a possible viable option for you. And in this video, I'm going to chat about some of the things to do in industry if you want to keep the door open to university and to an academic job. So typically, most people who want to be an academic lecturer and professor will go down an academic pathway. They'll start with their first degree, they may then do a master's, most likely they're going to put a PhD in, then they might be doing 1 or 2 postdoctoral positions before they then start to consider whether they can apply to become a lecturer. Some people will choose to become a research fellow or a teaching fellow. I've made videos on these different kind of terms and routes. I'll link a couple of videos in the comments box below. But usually people who want to be academics and academic professors and lecturers will stay within the university structure, and their career will develop from student to lecturer within academia. I say most, definitely not all. More and more people, I would say, are moving from industry positions into academic posts. And that is exactly what I did. I did my PhD and then I left. And I did a whole video about why I left academia after my PhD. I did a number of years working in industry, and then I came back into the academic system and I jumped all the kind of the postdoctoral researching stage because I had done it within my industry job, so I could then come straight back into a UK university as a lecturer. So the most important thing, I think, is if you want to go to industry, and there's lots of good reasons about why working in industry can be a fantastic option, and I absolutely loved my time as an industry scientist. But if you want to be in industry and keep the door open to academia, the number one thing that I would personally recommend is keeping a live academic track record. So what do I mean by that? When I joined industry, my supervisor and the research team I were part of were still developing ideas and concepts and experiments that I had been involved with at some stage. So yes, I'd written papers during my PhD, but after my PhD, even when I left, there were still papers coming out of that research group that I had been, directly hands-on involved with, which meant that my name could still go onto those papers. So although I was an industry-based scientist, I still had a publication track record, if you like, developing as those papers came out. So that was the first really cool thing. And the second thing is, though I was an industry-facing scientist, and some of the work might have had commercial sensitivities, or I couldn't share all of my data, there were sections of my work that were publishable. And that meant that I was able to go to academic conferences. And so that's my other kind of key point, is keeping your publication track record live is one thing, so keep putting stuff into journals if you can, and continuing to maintain a presence within an academic conference network of events relevant to your area. Because by going to those academic events, meetings, I was able to network still. I could still see the latest research that was coming out of the subject areas I was interested in, and my name was still connected to academia, even though I was a research-based scientist in industry. And then alongside keeping some publications going if possible, maintaining a presence at relevant academic conferences, another thing that you can do as an industry scientist is to make sure that you're current with the relevant academic societies for your subject area. So I'm a physicist, so in the UK I think there's 2 or 3 perhaps key communities or groups for me to join, and I made sure that whilst I was an industry-focused scientist, I was still partaking in these academic society type events. Now I would caveat by saying, when I moved into industry, I wasn't planning a great big move back into university and academia. It just happened. So I am very lucky and fortunate that I did keep my publication track record going, that I did go to academic conferences and events, that I was active within academic societies, I was mentoring other scientists to come through in their careers. And all of those things together, therefore, helped me when it did come the right moment to transition from industry to academia. So yeah, I was very lucky, but now I look back on this journey and I can think about these things. These are the steps and the kind of the pointers that I would definitely bear in mind if you're an industry scientist, or an industry researcher, but you want to keep the door open to academia. As always, as a caveat to these videos, I am a physicist, so I'm very much talking from a physics experience. And in particular, therefore, I can really speak to science, technology, engineering and mathematics. If you're in the humanities or the arts, it may be a slightly different journey that you need to go on if you're working in some kind of industry outlet and you're looking to come back into some kind of academic career or academic job. But just think about how you can maintain an academic profile whilst you're involved in your industry work if you want to keep that academic door, that academic path open to you. And I guess another couple of things that I was able to do is develop leadership skills. So within industry, I led a team, it was a number of researchers. I was ultimately accountable for the direction of that research group, the research output of us in industry. And that, for me, directly translated from an industry leadership role into then an academic lectureship leadership role. And the other thing you can do is to maintain your connection with academia by supporting them through industry events. So quite often universities will be wanting people to come back to talk about their careers, to talk about what they did when they finished their studies, how they transitioned into industry. Sometimes they may be looking as a university for you in industry to take on placement students, provide summer experiences. All of those things can help you in industry stay connected to academia. So in summary, yes, it is absolutely possible to go from industry into academia, but you just need to be aware that there's a few things you need to keep doing if you want to make that transition. And maintaining your connection with academia really is the essential bit. How you do that, how you keep that connection live, will be specific to your subject, to your industry job, to wherever you are in the world. But keeping that connection, that kind of link between your industry work and that kind of university setting, I think personally is a key aspect, a key thing, if you want to go from industry then at some point back into academia. Of course, you might not. You might absolutely love industry. You might never ever want to leave. You might absolutely love academia and never ever want to leave. But yeah, I guess it's just something to think about. So let me know in the comments, are you in academia right now and intend to stay in academia for as long as you possibly can? Or are you going into industry, but you might just keep the doorway open to come back into some kind of university type work? Or are you checking out of academia altogether? You've had enough and you're looking for industry work, or maybe just a different kind of I don't know, career, hobby, just something altogether different. Leave me a comment. I do love reading your comments. Have a great week. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you next Monday for another academic video. Bye.